Now at 9, why Miami, Oklahoma cannabis company filed a lawsuit against the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. Plus, a Riverton, Kansas man is charged after allegedly shooting several times at a family member. And a Joplin car dealership makes a big donation to the Ronald McDonald House of the 4 states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. A Miami, Oklahoma cannabis company files a lawsuit against the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. KOAM John Haldala was at the hearing at the Ottawa County Courthouse this afternoon.
The Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority inspected Full Tilt Cannabis Company in Miami on April 27th. At that time, OMA claimed the company did not properly maintain records and tag products, leading to emergency suspension. Full Tilt laid off employees as a result.
Right now, the OMA has issued hundreds of emergency suspensions and shutdowns. To my knowledge, the administrative law judge that's hearing these for the OMA has not undone any of them. They're not granting any witnesses. They're not granting exhibits.
An Ottawa County judge overturned the suspension. The business was able to rehire 37 of their 65 employees. Owner Jason Elsasser filed a lawsuit. He says a lot of business owners he spoke with did not get to deal with a local judge.
They had to deal with the kangaroo court, with the administrative law judge in Oklahoma City, and that court has upheld every suspension.
OMA tells us they do not comment on pending litigation, but directed us to their website for a statement. In that post, they deny shutting down businesses with minor violations. The OMA release also says that out of more than 12,000 licenses, around half of 1% have been issued emergency orders. Attorney Ronald Durbin says, instead of going after illegal operators, honest people are being attacked.
They're afraid of the real criminals. They'll go after the good folks that are making small technical things and making technical issues because that gets them headlines and they can say, look, we're doing something. All they're doing is tormenting good people.
In Miami, Janna Haudala, KOAM News.
Full Tilt says it's also seeking justice on behalf of other similar businesses recently inspected and suspended. Both parties are scheduled to be back in court on June 8th. Authorities have charged Riverton, Kansas man accused of shooting at a family member multiple times. The suspect is 37-year-old Joshua Ferguson. Investigators say he shot at a relative multiple times yesterday, but no one was hit. Law officers say they found Ferguson hiding in Webb City. Charges against him include attempted second-degree murder. Cedar County, Missouri police say they identified one more suspect in connection to the death of Ginger Lynn Shoemaker. Authorities say a probable cause suggests Aries Appleby was aware of the death of Shoemaker and failed to make a police report. They are requesting a charge for the abandonment of corpse without notifying authorities. The Cedar County Sheriff's Office says the 2 men responsible for the death of Shoemaker allegedly killed her with a lethal dose of fentanyl. Sean Wickstrom of Stockton and Christopher Appleby both face involuntary manslaughter charges and abandoning a corpse. Police say the pair injected a lethal dose of fentanyl, killing her back in February. 2 people in Montgomery County, Kansas are behind bars after officers allegedly found more than 70 malnourished animals. 2 Coffeyville suspects were taken into custody and charged with animal cruelty. The probable cause says they found malnourished animals, including dogs, cats, birds, rabbits, and more animals. Authorities say they were in poor condition without access to food or clean water. Dead animals were also on the property. No word yet on the suspects' names. And now Chief Meteorologist Doug Keddy joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, of course, we had a gloomy morning, but then we got the sunshine late in the day. Pretty much clear skies for us right now. It looks pretty good. We're looking at 7th and Rangeline. 76 was our high, normal high 77. So right about where we should be for this time of the year. Pretty much clear skies now. This is what we're going to see during the overnight hours. Thunderstorms to our west. That's our next storm system, but that's really not going to affect us until late tomorrow night. Until then, we look okay. Mid to upper 60s across the board as we go through the overnight. 63 by 11, 58 by 7, so kind of chilly. Back to 74, plenty of sunshine by 10 a.m. May get a little bit patchy fog in spots for us tonight, and then we're going to start to warm up a bit for us tomorrow. Thunderstorm chances tomorrow night into Friday, and then overnight lows cool down for the weekend. We'll discuss it here in a bit.
The Care Partner Network today hosted its 2nd annual summit, Strategically Growing Relationships. Officials say the event aims to strengthen existing relationships and foster new connections through keynote addresses and workshops. Today's summit featured 2 new speakers as well as 8 workshops for participants to choose from.
My goal for today is that they walk away having strengthened a relationship that they maybe already had, or connecting with somebody that they've never met before, to be able to learn more about other agencies, to be able to make those connections so that we can better serve the community.
The CARE Partner Network is a collaboration of over 70 regional community-based organizations that work together to address social detriments of health. The Frank Flether Subaru in Pittsburgh is continuing its partnership with the Ronald McDonald House of the 4 States by making a big donation. The dealership's employees today presented a donation of $20,000 to the house. The money comes from last year's Subaru Share the Love event. For every single vehicle sold, the dealership set aside money for a local charity. All that ended up totaling was $20,000 to help families in need. The family of one of the employees has benefited from the Ronald McDonald House themselves.
We were cared for. We were provided, there was transportation provided, there was a room provided, there was food provided. So it was easy for everyone who stayed there to focus more on their families that are in the hospital than trying to figure out everything else.
The dealership has partnered with Ronald McDonald House for 9 years and has raised more than $140,000. Coming up, the fight over the abortion pill continues.
A conservative court in New Orleans is hearing a case on whether or not a popular abortion bill should remain on the market. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on the arguments coming up.
Another high-stakes abortion battle is before a powerful court today at stake. Whether a popular abortion pill can remain on the market after challenges to its FDA approval. It could also set up a bigger fight that goes all the way to the Supreme Court. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
The Biden administration is back in court to fight for the future of mifepristone, a widely used abortion medication.
We've been very clear. The Biden-Harris administration is going to continue to fight for women's health care, for women's reproductive rights.
Mifepristone has been FDA approved since 2000. It's used in many early abortions that are done with a 2-pill regimen. It's also prescribed to help with miscarriages. The Justice Department, representing the FDA, is arguing the pill is safe in an overwhelming number of patients.
But I don't think there's ever been any court that has vacated FDA's determination that a drug is safe to be on the market.
The case is before a conservative 3-judge panel on the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans, and they sounded skeptical.
Why not just focus on the facts of this case rather than have this sort of FDA can do no wrong theme?
On the other side, a group of anti-abortion doctors arguing the FDA did not appropriately approve the pill and that it should not be available by mail nor in the U.S. market.
FDA marketed mifepristone by labeling pregnancy and illness. Then FDA stripped this drug of virtually every safeguard it had once deemed necessary in order to sell the drug.
According to a Fox News poll, 2/3 of Americans say abortion pills should remain legal. An expedited decision could come within days or even weeks. The losing side will almost certainly ask the Supreme Court for final review. Until then, mifepristone will remain widely available. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, it's championship night at the 3A Regional Softball Tournament in Columbus. We'll have highlights from the semifinal and the championship matchups.
Well, of course, we had a gloomy morning out there, a lot of clouds across the region. And once we got into the afternoon, we finally got some sunshine. It turned out actually to be a decent day. Temperatures into the mid-70s for highs. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Now, allergies starting to creep back up. They dropped because of all the rain today. Kind of moderate range, 9 out of 12, 9.8 tomorrow. So kind of moderate to high range. So there's allergies starting to kick back in. Temperature is pretty good. 68 Chanute, 66 Bonita, 66 Neosho, Nevada, sitting at 67. We can look outside. Here's 7th. Here's range line. Humidity creeping up, sitting at 76%. We may get a little bit of patchy fog in here later on tonight. We drop back to 58. but back to 73 by 10 a.m. So a quick warm up for us tomorrow. All right, any clouds we had out there earlier are gone. We look pretty good. Most of the Central Plains a little good. But you can see thunderstorms building out to our west and northwest. We have a cold front draped right through here. And this is going to head toward us as we go through the next 24 hours. High pressure out to our west, so it shoots the jet stream up and over the high. So that's why this system is dropping in from the northwest instead of the west or the southwest. But our rain chances will start to shoot up. Not till tomorrow night, late tomorrow night into Friday morning, our highest chances. And then they start to trail off once we get into Friday afternoon. So let's step through your next 48 hours. By morning, most of us upper 50s. A little chilly to start. We have sunshine during the morning. We get some mid and upper level clouds by the noon hour. Once we get into the afternoon, partly sunny skies. You can see an isolated thunderstorm, but most of us are going to be dry. Temperatures are great. So here's your day planner. Starting at 58, 78 by noon, 77, 80 by 5 p.m. Southerly winds are going to be light at about 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms increasing out to our west and to our northwest, but they're not going to make it here until well after midnight. Actually, even Friday morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. But some of these guys could be fairly strong when they drive in, especially in Oklahoma and along and south of I-44, so early Friday morning. Bands of showers, thunderstorms Friday morning. Here's the actual front back across our northwestern counties, and as it dips south and east, we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms really throughout the day on Friday, but I do think these will start to clear out once we get into Friday evening. All right, day plan of 58, start 80 during the afternoon. Rainfall amounts with this next system, not super heavy. I think most of us, a couple tenths of an inch. Maybe our southern counties, a few areas may pick up closer to a half an inch, but overall, rainfall amounts aren't going to be very heavy with this system, but at least some rain is going to be moving in. All right, 80 tomorrow, 69 on Friday. The weekend looks great. It's going to be a little bit cool Saturday and Sunday morning, but the afternoons look great, 70 and 75. Monday and Tuesday look great. Thunderstorm chances back in by the middle of next week.
Yeah, a little bit milder day. Give us a break before we get that stretch early next week.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up, adding more charging locations.
A new project could help make traveling by electric vehicle a lot more convenient for thousands. I'm Kevin Cork with that story and much more coming right up.
A new international effort between the U.S. and Canada hopes to calm one of the main fears preventing people from buying an electric vehicle. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork takes a look at the innovative charging projects aimed at making traveling by electric vehicles more convenient.
We want the experience for those driving electric vehicles to be seamless.
While it's a noble idea, Americans are slamming the brakes when it comes to buying electric vehicles, with roughly 80% saying a lack of public charging stations is one of the main reasons for not getting one, according to a recent study from the University of Chicago and the NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. But a new project between the U.S. and Canada is hoping to ease those concerns for thousands of travelers.
This is the first cross-border electric vehicle corridor of its kind.
Work will soon be starting on a massive network of brand new electric charging stations across more than 850 miles worth of busy highways between Kalamazoo, Michigan and Quebec City, Canada.
This new corridor will ensure that charging stations are no more than 80 kilometers or 50 miles apart along a route that represents one of the busiest passenger and trade corridors between our two countries.
This comes as funds from the Biden administration's Inflation Reduction Act are also being used to bolster charging stations across more sections of the United States.
We're building a network of 500,000 EV chargers nationwide in cities, in rural communities, and along alternative fuel corridors.
President Biden actually set a goal to have 50% of new car sales be electric by 2030, hoping that increased production of EVs and batteries will lead to lower vehicle costs in the future. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Up next, we'll check out some of the unusual discoveries on a Texas beach that are going up for auction. Some beach discoveries may just be right for fans of fright and collectors of unusual things. A research reserve in Texas is auctioning off creepy cool discoveries found on beaches. Some of the items include barnacle-encrusted dolls that look like they belong in a horror flick. Researchers found the items while looking for stranded sea turtles. The auction will help benefit a local wildlife rehabilitation group. Yeah, I'll pass on that one. All right, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The city of Pittsburgh receives federal housing vouchers to help people facing homelessness. Plus, we'll meet a Baxter Springs teacher who is retiring after 50 years of educating students. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is improving rural homelessness by funding local communities. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with the city of Pittsburgh about how they hope to tackle homelessness.
The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development awarded the City of Pittsburgh Public Housing Authority with housing vouchers. The city sees this as an opportunity to improve the homeless situation.
Because this is a direct referral program, voucher program, so the individuals that are seeking these vouchers, they will have to go through a service agency and be referred to our housing office for those.
One of those agencies is the Wesley House, the only homeless day shelter in town.
We are often kind of their first step when they are experiencing homelessness or when they're new to homelessness. We provide safety net services. We have meals, showers, laundry.
The Wesley House assesses a person's vulnerability before referring them to the Public Housing Authority. The most vulnerable people are priority, but the number keeps increasing.
Even this week, we have seen a lot of new people come in, and we do our best to get them assessed and meet their immediate needs. So
for individuals who may not have the correct documentation for housing, with these vouchers, it will allow them to start the process of getting housing while they still work on getting the correct documentation.
People come to us, they have no ID, no social security card, no birth certificate, and Community Health Center has been a great asset in getting those documents.
Residents have mixed opinions on the vouchers.
You would think the landlords just want to go to HUD because then that's guaranteed rent for them.
I think it's definitely a positive to help those people in need that are on the streets, whether it's homelessness long-term or falling on hard times short-term, getting them back on their feet and getting them the resources they need.
Really, it's just to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. But did I just say that? Oh, my bad.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The 5 stability vouchers are in addition to 15 emergency housing vouchers the Housing Authority received in July of 2021. A teacher in Baxter Springs, Kansas is retiring after 50 years of shaping the minds of kids. Vicki O'Neill has worked for Lincoln Elementary School her whole career, starting in 1973. Vicki says stepping away from educating won't be easy.
Very emotional. It's been a great day. I love the people here. They've been part of my life for the majority of my life, and but it's just bittersweet knowing this is the end. But there's a chapter ahead, some new adventure that I'm going to have. I believe it's time for me to spend more time with my family, my husband, my grandkids, to travel and do other things.
Well, congrats, Vicki. Vicki says she's been teaching so long, she's taught the grandchildren of some of her first students. A Joplin 3-year-old has raised enough money to go to Japan and compete in a race. Silas McCain was selected as one of 10 representatives for Team USA in his age category for the Strider Bike World Cup. But since it's in Japan, his family needed to raise money for the trip. So the Alliance of Southwest Missouri stepped in to help them raise money to cover lodging, flights, meals, and registration fees. This week, they announced they hit their fundraising goal of $7,500.
There's about 900 kids total from the age of 3 to 6 that participate in the World Cup. He was selected 1 out of 10 kids out of the United States that gets to participate. So we've been trying to raise funds just to get us to Japan, registration fee, lodging, and all of that.
The Strider World Cup race takes place on May 27th and 28th. The annual audit of Joplin's finances finds the city in compliance with regulations with no significant concerns. That was for the fiscal year that ended October 31st of 2021. It was The 32nd consecutive year, the Government Finance Officers Association recognized Joplin with its highest recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting. The White House and congressional leaders have appointed senior leaders to head up the debt ceiling negotiations on their behalf. The Biden administration says it's willing to compromise on changes to domestic energy projects and clawing back about $30 billion in unspent COVID relief money. Republicans want to add stricter work requirements for Medicaid and food stamp recipients. With Title 42 now a policy of the past at the border, Homeland Security appears to be trying to send a message to migrants that there will be consequences if they cross illegally. Fox News correspondent Bill Malugin has more from Brownsville, Texas.
Now that Title 42 is a thing of the past, the Biden administration is putting a major focus on messaging. Critics have long said the White House should be showing more images of deportations to demonstrate there are consequences for illegal crossings. And now, that is what they're doing. This video was released by CBP on Tuesday, showing groups of migrants who crossed illegally into Texas being sent back to deep southern Mexico. Another video released by Immigration and Customs Enforcement showing a deportation flight from Miami to Honduras, part of a broader effort to counteract propaganda from cartels and smuggling groups.
We know full well that the smugglers will continue to use the transition in authorities at our border to spread disinformation to migrants.
The idea is to show migrants that post Title 42, if you cross illegally, you're not just getting bounced back across the border. You're going to be sent to your place of origin, where you'll have to restart the journey all over again. Border Patrol is hoping that will serve as an incentive for migrants to use legal pathways, including the new CBP One app. But some say they're tired of waiting for their turn, and they're planning to cross any way they can.
We are going to see if they are going to give us an opportunity in this country, because in our countries we cannot be safe with the people who are there.
And with resources here still stretched thin, the governors of Idaho and Florida are sending their National Guard soldiers here to the border at the request of Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Reporting in Brownsville, Texas, Bill Malugin, Fox News.
A bit later, creators taking steps to protect their work.
Members of the entertainment industry say artificial intelligence is threatening their livelihood, and they want Congress to do something about it. I'm Mather Rivera in Washington with more on their concerns coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a nice afternoon and very nice evening as well. Once we got the sunshine, temperature shot mid to upper 70s. We've dropped back, but still feels pretty good. 68 Fort Scott at Indy, 67, 65 at Grand Lake. Neosho is sitting at 60 degrees. Currently 7th and Rangeline. Humidity is starting to creep up a little bit. We may get a little bit of patchy fog in spots after midnight, but overall it looks okay. By 11, 62, 58, so kind of chilly by morning, but we rebound to 73 by the time we get to 10 a.m. Clear skies right now, and that's pretty much what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. Most of the Central Plains clear. Now, thunderstorms starting to build out across the panhandles of Oklahoma, Texas, southern parts of Nebraska, stretching into the Dakotas. And if you follow this little line right back through here, that's our cold front that is going to be heading toward us over the next 36 hours. High pressure out to the west, so you can see the upper level wind flow. So this storm system is coming out of the northwest. It's not going to have much in the way of severe weather with it, but we are going to get scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be a little bit on the stronger side. All right, rain chances start to creep up tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, really go up after midnight into Friday morning, and then slowly taper off as we get into Friday afternoon. So let's go through next 60 hours or so. For us by morning, upper 50s, a little bit chilly. By the noon hour, we get into the upper 70s for afternoon highs, or noon highs. By the afternoon, about 80 in Nevada, 80 in Anderson, 79 in Parsons, Fredonia, up to 80. Veneta, up to about 67 degrees. Now, 67, 78 degrees. But you can see an isolated storm or two trying to get going. As we continue into tomorrow night, thunderstorms building out to our west, but they're not going to get here until very late tomorrow night, even into Friday morning. Showers, thunderstorms. Heaviest should be along the Kansas, Oklahoma state line, I-44, and south. Quite a bit more scattered once you get north of I-44, but I do think most of us will get rain. Scattered showers, thunderstorms. Here's the main front. We're looking at Friday morning. Showers and thunderstorms by noon. Then the front pushes through and our rain chances start to taper off by the time we get into Friday evening. And then by Saturday morning, we drop all the way back into the 40s for overnight lows, so a little bit on the chilly side. All right, day planner on Thursday, 58 start, 77 by noon, high temp 80 during the afternoon. Rainfall amounts with this next storm system, not super heavy, but the heaviest will be northeast Oklahoma, I-44 and south, quite a bit lesser amounts once you get north of I-44. All right, 80 tomorrow, cooler Friday, 69, 70 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday look good. Thunderstorm chances back in by the middle of next week.
A lot of people eyeing that Saturday because the Joplin Memorial Run is that morning. So
it looks good. It's going to be a little chilly in the morning, but it looks good.
Okay, no rain though.
No.
As of right now, no rain.
No, it won't rain.
All right, sounds good. Coming up in sports, it's championship night at the 3A Regional Baseball Tournament in Girard. Plus, Frontenac and Columbus square off for a spot in the 3A Softball State Tournament. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Tonight is championship night at the 3A Regional Softball Tournament in Columbus. And we have two semifinal games and a championship game tonight. On the first semifinal game of the day, the top-seeded Titans face the Baxter Springs Lions. Columbus looks for a little revenge in this one after the Lions knocked them out in the semifinals last season. So back at it again this year. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Titans. Katie Simpson drives it off the fence. Maddie Garcia scores. Play at the plate, not in time. RBI triple by Simpson makes it 2-0 Titans. Later on, same inning, KT Lopp this time, keeping alive the second inning rally, drives it in the gap. Aubrey Saporito and Katie Simpson score. Titans go up 4-0 after the two-run double. Bottom of the third now, 5-0 Columbus. KT Lopp not done yet. Two-run score on the single. Lopp finishes the game with 5 RBIs. Titans take a 7-0 lead. Then top of the seventh, last chance for Baxter. Katie Simpson makes the grab, and that's the ball game. Titans defeat Baxter Springs 10-1 to move on to the regional title game. The other side of the bracket, defending state champion Frontenac faces Girard in the semifinals. We'll start it out top of the first inning. Frontenac's Avery Johnson gets the strikeout with runners on to end the inning. In the bottom of the first, no score. Check out Leah McGowan here, throws out the runner trying to steal. Look at her face. She knows she made a great play there. Bottom of the third. Annie Lee up now for Frontenac. Hits this one to third base. Throw to first, not in time. She is safe. Play at the plate, not in time. Play at third again. It's also not in time. Everybody's safe. 1-0 Raiders lead. Later in the inning, Abby Beeman goes opposite field. That falls in for an RBI single. Frontenac goes up 2-0. The Raiders would pull away to win 10-0. To move on to face Columbus in the regional championship. So now to that championship, the top two seeds. Frontenac and Columbus battle for a spot at state. Titans lead 1-0 here in the fourth. But Mia Brown lifts it high and deep to left center for Frontenac in the parking lot for the solo shot. Brown ties the game up at 1. After that, Gracie Major locks it down in the circle. Strikeout there for Major. We go to extra innings tied at 1. Top of the 8th. Raiders have 1 on, 1 out. Maybe the best play I've ever seen on a softball field. Katie Mooney, unbelievable diving grab on the bunt attempt. Then gets the double play on the throw to second. Check it out. Everybody fired up. Titans come to bat with a chance to win it. Now 2 on here for Gracie Major. She delivers. Liner in the gap. Aubrey Saporito comes in. And that is the ball game. Columbus walks it off to beat Frontenac 2-1. Gracie Major gets the walk-off single to put the Titans in the state tournament.
Gracie always stays cool. That's one thing, she'll keep her head. And I knew whenever she was coming up to bat, I knew we were going to get it done. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. The girls have worked so hard. They deserve it.
On the baseball side, tonight is also championship night at the regional tournament in Girard. There are 4 teams remaining coming into the day, all of them out of the CNC. The first semifinal game, a pair of good teams here with the top-seeded Columbus Titans facing Girard. The first inning, Titans straight to work. Brett Hamilton drops it into left. Runner scores. Hamilton safely into second. Columbus goes up 3-0 after one. On the top of the second, Seth Stover cruising on the mound for the Titans. Strikeout there ends the inning. Now to the third, Stover does some damage with the bat, smokes a liner into right center. Great effort out there, but the ball gets by. Check it out, Stover waved around third. He slides in for the inside the park home run. Titans get the lead to 4-0 after three. Columbus wins, moves on to the regional championship 8-1. On the other side, it's Frontenac and Galena for a spot in the regional championship. In that one, it's the Raiders cruising by the Bulldogs in the end, 9-0. So it's always going to come down to these two. Frontenac and Columbus meet for a spot in the 3A state tournament. Titans up 8-2. Top of the fifth, Frontenac trying to make it interesting. Columbus tries to turn the double play here, but Cal Turlip beats it out for the infield hit. RBI makes it 8-3. Moving to the bottom of the sixth now. Titans up 8-5. Colt Ungehauer up. Hits this ball deep into the sun. Goes over the fence out there. That's his second homer of the game, and it puts the Titans up 9-5. So last chance for Frontenac. We go to the top of the seventh. Ball popped into the outfield here. Catch is made. And that will be the ball game. Columbus beats Frontenac 9-5. The Titans are headed back to the state tournament for the second consecutive year.
This is awesome. You know, back to back, these kids deserved it. You know, they've worked hard. These 11 seniors. And, you know, today we knew it was going to be a tough day to go through Girard and Frontenac. Two tough opponents in our regional because our regional is so dang tough. And they overcame it, and they played their hearts out today.
It feels good to win it. I mean, winning it last year was pretty special, but we knew we didn't finish the job at state, so our motto's been finish all year. So to get back there, it's going to be fun to see what we can do when we get there.
Some great games today. That Frontenac-Columbus softball game, it's probably the best softball game I've been to. That play from Katie Mooney at third, maybe the best play I've seen on a softball field. I had no doubt sitting there that I was watching the two best teams in the state. Class
and
3.
then the second best play from that game was Coach Saporito keeping the mic dry from
the unexpected
I
appreciate it.
Gatorade bath.
Awareness, his situational awareness there from Coach Saporito.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, that's it for sports. We're back with more after this. Artificial intelligence is upending every industry it touches. And now there is a mad dash among singers, songwriters, and other creators to establish some rules of the road to protect their works. And lawmakers want to know how to put guardrails in place. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
Capable of generating anything from music to poems, artificial intelligence has stoked fascination and fears that the technology could ultimately replace humans. The feelings of anxiety especially high in the entertainment industry, where members are worried they could one day be deemed irrelevant.
Many other people are experiencing the same sense of panic that I had. Artists and writers are worried about their work being devalued.
During a House subcommittee hearing on the issue Wednesday, lawmakers acknowledged finding a balance is hard.
The fundamental question we must ask is, how can we promote innovation and further development of generative artificial intelligence models while also protecting the rights of creators whose works are the engine that fuels these models?
No longer just a plot line in movies, the rise of AI is even threatening Hollywood.
The members of the Writers Guild of America are uniting to speak up for their own rights and to ensure that they are not replaced by AI systems.
Hollywood writers have been on strike since early May as they try to iron out a new contract with studios. In their negotiations, they're aiming to limit the use of AI-generated dialogue or scenes. One industry expert suggests Congress should strengthen copyright laws to protect creators.
And it's worth Congress considering legislation to better shape copyright to govern things like copyrightable characters, and possibly to extend copyright to cover things like write-up publicity.
ChatGPT's CEO told lawmakers he agrees artists should be protected and is optimistic a solution can be reached. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll meet a chief in Nigeria making a name for himself by breaking the world record for longest nonstop cooking session. Just imagine the amount of dishes to wash after this epic effort. A Nigerian chef cooked nonstop for 100 hours in an attempt to set a world record. Reporter Stephanie Basari has the details.
Nigerian chef Hilda Efionbasi has become a national sensation after cooking non-stop for 100 hours, possibly setting a new world record. The chef started cooking on Thursday and created more than 55 recipes and over 100 meals designed to showcase the best of Nigerian cuisine. Hilda remained in high spirits despite the lack of sleep, and her fans went to great lengths to support her.
We're outside for Hilda Bassi. When a Nigerian is doing something, we all come out, we show support.
One man even traveled for hundreds of kilometers through the night to get to the venue in Lagos.
I drove 12 hours just to be here,
The chef's cookathon trended nationwide as celebrities and politicians, including the governor of Lagos, visited her. Musicians also created a party and concert atmosphere.
The crowd is going absolutely crazy. Hilda Bassi has just passed 96 hours in her 4-day cooking marathon. She passed the world record hours ago, but she decided to keep on going, to go the extra mile.
I was very tired, but at the same time, I feel very blessed and really excited as well. The first day was the most difficult, and I was ready to give up 6 hours in, but I feel like a miracle happened, and somehow I got to this point.
The record to beat was set in 2019 by Indian chef Lata Tondon, who posted a message of support to Hilda during her attempt. The Guinness World Record Committee still has to confirm that all their criteria have been met. But for Nigerians, there's a new record breaker in town, and her name is Hilda Bassi.
And that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of alpacas getting their wool sheared in China. Be safe. We'll do this all again tomorrow. We'll see you then.